Howdy gang, and welcome to your 14th Vue.js tutorial, and in this video I want to show you how to create multiple Vue instances. Okay, so thus far we've just created one Vue instance to control our entire application, that one section on the web page. Now in this video I want to show you how to create multiple Vue instances to control different sections of your website. For example, we might be using Vue.js and multiple instances as widgets on a website. Okay, so each Vue.js instance is controlling a specific widget on a website. So how does this work? Well, first of all, what I'm going to do is store this Vue instance in a variable. All right, so I'm going to call this 1. So now this is an instance which is stored in a variable called 1, right? And this right here I'm going to change to Vue app 1, and we're going to use this to control an area on a web page with this element. So I'm going to actually copy this and paste it down here to create a second Vue instance, and I'm going to call this one 2, and this time this is going to control Vue app 2. Okay, so now if we go to the HTML, you'll notice I've created two areas, Vue app 1 and Vue app 2. So these are the two different sections that they're going to control. So let's just add some data on each one of these instances. First of all, I'm going to add a title, and this is going to be Vue app 1, and then down here we'll have a title as well, and this is going to be Vue app 2. So let's output those different titles now in this index file. So if we come under here, we can add, for example, a h2 and say title, and the same goes for down here, title. So let's save that and view this in a browser, and you'll notice we have these two titles right here. Okay, so because this is being controlled by the Vue instance 1, this thing right here, then it takes this title, and because this one is being controlled by this second Vue instance right here, it takes this title. So there we go, we've got two successful Vue instances on our web page. So that's how we can use two different ones. Now I also want to do a computed method for each one, which is going to be called greet. So I'll add that right here, and this is going to be a function which is going to return to us a string, which we can output then to the browser, and this is going to say hello from app 1, and then down here we'll do another greet function. So I'll copy this and paste it in here, and this instead is going to say, yo dudes, this is app 2 speaking to ya. Okay, so now we've got two different greet functions in our computed objects right there, one for app 1 and one for app 2. So let's now output these as well to the browser, and remember we can do that just by saying something like this. So under here p, and this is going to be greet. And remember, for computed properties we don't need to add on the parentheses like that, that's just for methods. Computed properties is just the name, and we'll do the same for Vue app 1, so greet there as well. And if we save this, we should see both of those greetings. Yep, and yep, cool. So that is how we use two Vue instances. Absolutely the same as if we'd use just one Vue instance. They're independent of each other. However, we can interact with one another. Say we want to do something in this instance which interacts with this instance. Well, this is why I've given these two variable names, 1 and 2, so that we can reference them outside of the Vue instance themselves. So say for example, if we go in here, we had a button in Vue app 2, and that's going to have a click event, so v on click, and that equals a method which we'll call in a minute, and we'll say change app 1 title, right? So this button is going to change the title of this title right here. Okay, so we're communicating between the two instances. So let's call a method, and we'll call this change title, and we need to create that method now in Vue app 2, because this right here, this button, is within Vue app 2, so it's going to look for this method on the instance which controls that area, which is this one, number 2. So let's create that method, and it's called change title, and this is going to be a function, and inside what we want to do is change the title of this thing right here, this data. Now we can do that really easily just by referencing the name of this view instance. So I'm going to copy this and let's paste it down here. So one.title, and that's going to access the title property right there in the data, and we can set it equal to something else. So I'm just going to say title changed. Okay, so let's just save that, and I've forgotten my parenthesis right here. Okay, save that, and if we view this now in a browser, if we click this, then this should change, and it does. So we have access now one view instance from another. So I want to show you one more thing, and that is that we can change the title of this one or this one from outside any view instance whatsoever. So we can just write something down here like this, to.title, and then set that equal to changed from outside, because it's outside any view instance, and this is going to override this title right here because we're referring to that view instance and changing that title. And we don't have to click a button or anything for this to happen. This is going to run automatically because it's just running the JavaScript. So let's save this and check it out in a browser, and now you can see it's changed from outside. So there we go, that's multiple view instances for you in a nutshell. One thing I do want to say about multiple view instances is that if you're constantly interacting with separate instances like this, you might want to reconsider how you're structuring your application. You might want to bundle everything together in one view instance where it's much more natural to communicate between data than having separate instances which are communicating with each other all over the show. In this example it's fine because it's very simple, but if you've got multiple instances all over the show communicating with each other, you might want to think about just bundling it all together in one or two instances to control a larger section.